Hey guys, come on back again. Welcome to the unboxing of the Galaxy Z Fold 5. I recently just returned my Google Pixel Fold. Now I will be testing out Z Fold 5. But the most exciting part of getting the new phone is just the unboxing part. So literally just got this in the mail, so I'm going to open it up, let you guys know how I feel. Back in the days, you used to get a lot more cool stuff. When you order phones these days, you're paying more and you're getting less and less. They took away the charging brick. The box from getting smaller and uglier, I must admit. Look at this design. Why is it such a big box and there's a little tiny icon in the middle? I think it's just a terrible design. And I know most people are going to say after you use the phone, you're not really going to look at the box. But I want to talk more about the experience of actually opening it up the phone, because you spend $2,000 for these after taxes and everything. You want to get a decent unboxing experience. If you go to a fancy steakhouse, it's all about the presentation and getting like the whole experience, You're paying $2,000 for the phone and they can't even give you a good looking box. Last year it looked better. I'm not sure why they just shrunk it down. They got all this space right here. Just make it bigger, flashier, throw in some colors or something. All the previous years it looks better than this. But looks like they got tab here, so I don't really need a knife or a scissor. Throw this aside, other than opening the actual Amazon box. But even that, they just had the little tape that I just pulled off. So rip these off, pop this little guy out. Voila, there it is. Put that down for a second. You got some, I assume, manual and a SIM card tray ejector and a USB-C cable in there. Quick start guide. I'm just going to leave those in there for now. Got a bunch of stuff laying around. And these days I do have a bunch of charging bricks due to the fact that I accumulated them so many of them throughout the years every time I get a new cell phone. So I kind of almost get it from the standpoint of them wanting to save money or pretend to be environmental friendly and not include charging bricks anymore. I think that's fine if you are using older technology, but if you want to sell new fast charging technology, it would be nice if they throw in a newer charging brick, just because most people don't have them and they got to spend another $50 just to get them. But anywho, let's pop this out. Here's the phone itself, and that's pretty much it. The other box, you get the quick start, and here's the phone itself. We'll peel this off. It actually feels very light, surprisingly. I'm shocked at how light this feels. I used the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and 4 in the past, and both phones, they feel like giant bricks. And even just using the Pixel Fold earlier in the day, it is so freaking heavy, but this one, at least it feels really light. And as you can see, crease is still there. Notice it right away. But the phone does feel thinner and lighter compared to previous years. There's a satisfying close, and this year, so everything closed flat. Although you can argue you can still see a little gap in here. But at least it closed flat. The other years, they went for the more triangular shape. And just holding it for the first time, it feels really good. Might just be the new phone excitement feeling, but it got a nice weight. I went for this bluish looking color. I think it feels really nice. We'll just boot it up. We got the power button and the fingerprint sensor at the bottom. Hold it for your time. Maybe the battery's dead. Usually when you buy a new phone, they always, here, it takes a few try, but we turn it on. And the Pixel Fold is nice because it has a large display that is similar to a regular smartphone. This is long and skinny, but I actually don't mind it because I can reach over here pretty easily for one-handed use. I can just type like this, Google. I have to stretch a little bit more, and every time I stretch, I feel like there's risk that I might drop the phone. But let me just agree to all these and set it up as we go. And wow, that was a very fast initiation. All I did was turn up the Z Fold, and then my previous phone, which is the phone I'm recording on right now, the Pixel 7a, has a SIM card in it.
So this phone, it automatically came up with a QR code, and my phone that I'm using to record, I have it mounted on a tripod. It automatically just read the QR code once I hit the setup. Alrighty, I popped the SIM card inside. I set up my face unlock. And after you pop in the SIM card, it's gonna make you restart the phone. I'm also currently connecting my data transfer cable from the Z Fold to my Pixel 7a. So I'm transferring all the data over. It's like a 50 gig file. Apparently it's gonna take 3 hours and 40 minutes. I don't wanna hit restart because then the smart switch always get a little bit funky every time you restart or get disconnected in the middle. I just wanna let it all finish. When you first hold the phone, it does feel significantly lighter compared to the Pixel Fold, but at the end of the day, it's still got some good weight to it. Camera bumper is pretty standard. Similar setup to the last year, triple camera. If you want the best camera, you would get the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This one is solid. You don't have the 100x zoom or anything like that, but it does the job. Galaxy cameras, Pixel, iPhones, for the most part, they're pretty good. You're not gonna get the best camera that money can buy with this phone. With this phone, you're just paying for the ability to do this. You can open it up and use it as a tablet. Of course, once my things start updating. And it actually feels pretty good in the hand. Can you almost fit in the palm of one hand.
Alrighty guys, super excited to use this phone, even though it is day one. A lot of time is going to be spent setting up the phone, downloading all the files, messages, videos, transferring all the stuff over from my Pixel 7a to the Fold 5. I do want to take it for a quick spin. By the time everything finished downloading, my phone was at roughly 30%. I do want to give you guys some of my initial reaction before we jump into a full day with this phone on day 2. Right now, I currently have my phone propped on my desk because I want to use this main camera and preview screen, but it's a little bit awkward to use because initially you have to launch the camera on the other side, then you go to the top right hand corner, you hit the preview screen, and then you have to turn your phone around. Hopefully during this whole process, you don't accidentally touch another button that switch away from the app. So it's kind of weird. A lot of steps just to even get to this. Even when you flip the phone around and have it on the preview screen mode, it's a little bit awkward because you actually have to hold the phone. You can't really stand on its own. It doesn't stand up on its own. So right now I'm just using this sterilizer box that I bought when COVID first happened and never really touched it since. But anyway, so you kind of have to prop it up that way. One solution that Samsung can do is just potentially add another screen right under the main camera. That will give it 4 screen. And I guess in that case, it would be similar to the Galaxy Z Flip 5. With the Z Flip, it's just more convenient to use the main camera, especially if you want to record yourself doing TikTok videos or something like this. Here, the preview screen is just a bit awkward to use. We'll see if Samsung will ever do that. If not, they could just leave it as is, and that makes the Flip 5 the differentiator. And the folding phone is just more of a tablet experience. The Flip 5 is just more convenient for propping anywhere and to start recording. Samsung phone in general are great for multitasking, launching 3 apps at once. They got app pairs and you can multitask to your heart content. Me personally, I don't do any multitasking on this phone. I use one app at a time. I like one large screen covering the whole thing, YouTube. I don't need to do 10 things at once. So multitasking is your thing. Buy the S Pen that is not included and draw, message, and do whatever you want all at the same time. Me, I personally prefer to focus on one thing at a time. This year with the Z Fold 5, it's essentially almost exactly the same thing as the Z Fold 4, but it does feel like a decent upgrade just because like the weight. The fact that they're able to make it lighter is already a much more pleasant experience. Just me picking up the phone, using it. Comparing to coming from the Pixel, it feels so much heavier. And this one is definitely a breath of fresh air. We're getting a new chip as well, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Look forward to see how the battery is going to perform. With the Galaxy S23, I did see a 30% increase compared to the S22 model. I'm curious if the Fold series is going to have the same bump in battery life as well. And this year, you're getting the closed hinge, which I already hit on earlier. And something about having a small, thin, narrow display in the front, every time I pick up this phone, I automatically want to open it up into the larger screen. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. When I was using the Pixel Fold, I spend the majority of my time just using the front display because it's already big enough and it's so heavy and cumbersome to even open. But the Fold 5 is just lighter, easy to use. It's very easy to open and close. And for me, it's just automatically make me want to use the larger display. And the larger display is just more optimized. Every single app that I use just immediately works better. Some of the few I tested is just the Pokemon trading card game and Pokemon Go. Those are the really two games that I really use, and everything is full screen, worked pretty well for the most part. With the Fold, the resolution was weird, the aspect ratios are off, you can't really fix it, and I can't even play the trading card game on the Pixel Fold with the biggest screen. So that alone already makes the Fold 5 an easy recommendation for me. Just the software is much more optimized. There's already been 5 generations of this phone. Pixel is just their first Fold. A lot of it's going to get better over time with software updates, I'm sure. But if you're spending $1,800 right now, if you want to get the Z Fold 5 or the Pixel Fold 1, I think Z Fold 5 is a no-brainer off the bat, just because it's just more optimized software experience on the inner display. And you're getting a folding phone, you want to use the inner display. You want to use that giant tablet screen, play games on it, watch YouTube on it. But if half the apps don't work on it, or if they work weird, like on the Pixel Fold, you see black bars everywhere. Just Twitter, web surfing, Snapchat. Most of the apps on the Pixel Fold just does not work that well, so I end up just spending 80% of my time on the outer display. But the Fold 5, just having it briefly for a few hours, I'm automatically just opening it up and using the inner display much more. And it's just very fun, very pleasant. It's just you can tell it's been 5 generations of iteration, refinement. Even though year to year it doesn't really change that much, but the little tweaks every single year just makes it a little bit better. In the first year when it came out, the front display was just very awkward and pretty much non-existent. But you see every single year they just improve little by little. And this year the weight got better. And I'm just very impressed with the inner display. Using Google Chrome, just me going on slick deals, like the spacing is correct, unlike the Pixel Fold. Even though it's a Google app using Google Chrome, for some reason the website just looks weird and not spaced out properly. And YouTube Studios, which is a Google app on the Google phone, you see black bars on the side. Samsung, everything is full screen and optimized. And something I do want to point out is Samsung phone, from my personal experience, they tend to work better with more chargers, like random chargers that I have around the house. 15 watt fast charger, 20 watt, 30, 40, like whatever I use, I just feel like it just charges better. Even if I have it plugged in, I play game, I use camera, plugging in for like 5 to 10 minutes, I still get 10% boost even for like short periods of time. But with the Pixel phone, the phone in general tend to run really hot, and you have to use a very specific charger or a charging brick. Otherwise, it wouldn't charge at all. And when I'm charging using the Google Pixel Fold, it either holds the charge or you might get like 1% or 2%, especially if you're using a phone and charging at the same time. So not all, 25, 45 watt charging is the same. If the phone runs hot, it slows down the charging. One thing I do want to point about using this outer display to record the video, I do like that I can see the timer and see how long I've been talking for and recording. That's pretty helpful versus me just staring at a camera lens. I don't know how long I've been talking for. I guess in general, I try to glance at the time before I record, and as I start recording, I can keep track of it. But just having the timer on the preview screen as I'm recording this video has definitely been helpful for me to pace myself and at least see where I'm at. And for some reason, with the Fold 5, I just feel much more inspired using it. I don't know, I like the color, I like the way it feels, and it's like how it makes me feel. It's just get really creative. I start recording more videos up the phone, and even videos using the phone. Just use some random tomatoes that I recorded from my mom, and just propping it and making videos of me eating ice creams. Just so much potential with this phone. My initial impression, just rambling about random things that I noticed so far on day one, immediately to switching over to the Fold 5. After using the Pixel Fold in the morning, the Fold 5 came in the evening and started switching it over.
So day 1 is just setting up the phone, initial impressions, gonna let all the apps and everything install. Once I charge it up to 100%, I can take it for a full spin and give you guys some further updates. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.